Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you so much, Administrator McCarthy, for appearing before us today and for the important work you do to protect the health of Oregonians and Americans. And I'm an optimistic person, so I want to say that I'm happy to hear that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are concerned about the needs of low-income people. That's some good news today. So I want to start by thanking you for the EPA's commitment to the ongoing cleanup of the Portland Harbor Superfund site. I look forward to your agency finalizing the remedial investigation and feasibility study. We know it's been a challenge to find environmentally sound, cost-effective cleanup methods that will allow the Region 10 and local parties to stay on track toward the goal of presenting the public with a proposed cleanup plan in 2016. But after many, many years, we're all more than ready to resolve the situation in the Portland Harbor, and I look forward to your continued work together on this issue.
And the State's been a wonderful partner in getting to this stage, and we will get this over the finish line.
I appreciate that on behalf of many of my constituents who have a lot at stake. So I just got back from Oregon. I was there last week, where it was close to 100 degrees several days and in the high 90s the rest. People are very concerned about climate change and warming temperatures, particularly with the risks associated, for example, our water temperatures, aquatic habitats, to the extent that core populations of some fish could become extinct. We're dealing with droughts, of course, my neighbors to the south a little more seriously, but a lot of regions in Oregon. We have a lot of agricultural production in eastern Oregon. It's going to affect our region and agricultural products. So can you briefly mention how the work that you're doing will help with some of these issues? And I want to save time for another important question. Thank you.
Let me be very quick. The work that we are doing is to implement the President's Climate Action Plan, which is a series of domestic actions that will also reduce carbon pollution, but also maintain the growth in our environment that we're all looking forward to continuing. And EPA in particular is moving forward in a variety of ways to take action on climate and to reduce carbon pollution. The good news is that it was done as a strategy to try to get global engagement to happen, because it needs a global solution. And in fact, that is exactly what is happening.
Terrific. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I want to point out that there have been a lot of conversations in this committee about the cost of regulation. Last year, the OMB estimated that rules promulgated by the EPA between 2003 and 2013, that decade, created between $165 and $850 billion in benefits at a cost of $38 to $46 billion. That sounds like a pretty good number to me. And I'm really glad that you're working on the Clean Power Plan and reducing toxins in our air and water on behalf of not only my constituents, but Americans. So some witnesses before this committee have offered the opinion, and some of my colleagues, that EPA regulation should only be set if environmentally beneficial technology is widely commercially available. But others have pointed to a long history of technologies becoming available after the EPA determines that they're feasible. So does the regulation drive the innovation and the technologies to reduce costs, for example, of renewables? So emphasizing that the EPA regulations spur innovation, that they're in the absence, there is not generally a financial incentive for widespread deployment. So we saw this when we tackled acid rain under the George H.W. Bush administration. So can you comment on the view that EPA regulations such as the Clean Power Plan or proposed rule to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from new power plants will incentivize innovation?
Yeah, just point out two things. The Clean Air Act was actually designed and passed by Congress to have sections that actually were moving technology forward. They were technology spurring. The section that we're regulating on our power plants under the carbon pollution plan is one of those sections. So it does say we need to continue to move forward under our new source standard. So what we have done is we've set a standard that's 30 years away. We have set a standard that allows, it's an investment signal in order to tell states they have every flexibility to get to that standard, but it's also a signal to the market.
Right.
It will tell people that investments in renewables are not only affordable today, they're going to get more affordable moving forward. It's an opportunity for new energy efficiency technologies.
Absolutely.
So this is a market-based approach to address a confounding problem, but in a way that states can drive it in the way that it works best for them and develops the businesses they want to have and the jobs they want to take advantage of.
Terrific. And in our state, when we passed a feed-in tariff pilot for solar, sold out in the first 15 minutes. It was available.
Amazing.
So a lot of potential for innovation there. And I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.